In a small, bustling neighborhood in Accra, Ghana, lived two brothers, Patrick and Kwami. They shared a tiny house with their parents and younger sister, Linda. Their father, Papa Mensa, worked hard as a fisherman, while Mama Abina sold vegetables in the local market. Despite their efforts, the family struggled to make ends meet. Patrick, the older brother, was 18 years old. He had a kind heart and was always ready to lend a hand. His hands were rough from helping Papa Mensa with fishing nets, and his back often ached from carrying heavy loads. Kwami, 2 years younger, was quick-witted and had a dreamer's spirit. He loved to read and often imagined a world beyond their small neighborhood. Every evening, the family gathered around a small table for dinner. "One day we'll have a better life," Patrick would say, holding Linda close. "We'll work hard and make our dreams come true." "Yes, we will," Kwami echoed, his eyes shining with hope. Patrick and Kwami were both students at the local university. They were among the brightest in their class, but the weight of their family's poverty pressed heavily on their shoulders. Despite the challenges, they excelled in their studies, hoping education would be their path to a better future. "Patrick, Kwami, you must focus on your studies," Mama Abina often reminded them. "It's our only hope." But the days were long and arduous. Patrick worked at a construction site after classes, his muscles straining under the weight of bricks and cement. Kwami sold trinkets on the sidewalk, his voice growing hoarse from calling out to potential customers. Every coin they earned was a small victory, a step closer to their dreams. As months turned into years, the burden of responsibility became too much to bear. Their family depended on them, and the pressure was immense. One evening, as the brothers sat by the ocean, watching the waves crash against the shore, they made a difficult decision. "Patrick, we can't keep doing this," Kwami said, his voice trembling. "We need to find a better way." Patrick nodded, his heart heavy. "You're right. Let's go to Canada. They say the streets are full of opportunities there." "But how will we get there?" Kwami asked, worry etched on his face. "We'll find a way," Patrick replied with determination. "We have to." The brothers saved every penny they could, working tirelessly for months. Finally, they managed to gather enough money to start their journey. They bid farewell to their family, promising to return with enough to lift them out of poverty. "Be safe, my sons," Papa Mensa said, his voice cracking. "Come back soon," Linda cried, hugging them tightly. With heavy hearts but hopeful spirits, Patrick and Kwami set off for Takoradi, the starting point of their voyage. They boarded a small, fragile pirogue with other hopeful travelers, setting sail on the vast Atlantic Ocean. The journey was perilous. The ocean, once calm and serene, turned into a violent storm. Waves as tall as houses crashed against their boat, tossing it like a toy in the water. The brothers held on tightly, their dreams clinging to the fragile vessel. "Patrick, I'm scared," Kwami shouted over the roaring wind. "Hold on, Kwami. We're almost there," Patrick replied, though fear gripped his heart as well. But the ocean had other plans. A massive wave struck the boat, capsizing it. Patrick and Kwami were thrown into the freezing water, struggling to stay afloat. "Patrick!" Kwami called out, but his brother was nowhere to be seen. Patrick fought against the relentless waves, his strength waning. He thought of his family, of Kwami, and of the dreams they had shared. With one final effort, he pushed Kwami towards a floating piece of wood. "Hold on, brother," he whispered, his voice barely audible above the storm. Kwami clung to the wood, tears mingling with the salty water. He watched helplessly as Patrick was swept away by the tides, his strong brother now lost to the ocean's depths. Back in Accra, the news of Patrick's disappearance reached the Mensa family a few days later. A distant cousin who had been tracking the brothers' journey brought the devastating message. "Mama, Papa," she said, her voice shaking, "I have bad news. Patrick and Kwami's boat capsized. They were caught in a storm. We haven't found Patrick, and they fear he's lost." The moment the words left her mouth, time seemed to freeze. Mama Abina dropped the basket of vegetables she was holding, her hands trembling. Linda, who had been playing nearby, sensed the heaviness in the air and ran to her mother, eyes wide with confusion. Papa Mensah's face went pale. He sank into a chair, the weight of despair crashing down upon him. The dreams he had for his sons, the hope of a brighter future, felt like a distant echo in that moment. He buried his face in his hands, tears streaming down his cheeks. "Patrick!" Mama Abina cried out, her heart breaking. "My son, my firstborn. How could this happen?" She fell to her knees, sobbing uncontrollably, as Linda wrapped her arms around her, trying to offer comfort even as her own heart shattered. The family was engulfed in sorrow. The house that once echoed with laughter now felt hollow. The walls seemed to close in, suffocating them with grief. Every corner held reminders of Patrick. His worn-out shoes by the door, the fishing nets they had mended together, and the stories of hope he always shared. Days later, Kwami was rescued by a passing ship. Heartbroken but alive, he vowed to honor Patrick's memory. In Canada, Kwami faced numerous challenges. The weather was colder than anything he had ever experienced, and the language barrier made communication difficult. Yet, he persevered, driven by the memory of Patrick and the promise he had made to his family. Kwami enrolled in language classes to improve his English, taking on various jobs to support himself. He worked as a dishwasher in a busy restaurant, a janitor in a local school, and even took on odd jobs during weekends. Each day was a struggle, but he never lost sight of his goal. One day, while working at the restaurant, Kwami met an older man named Mr. Thompson. He was a kind-hearted patron who noticed Kwami's diligent work ethic and determination. "Young man, you remind me of myself when I was your age," Mr. Thompson said one evening after dinner. "What brings you to Canada?" Kwami shared his story, his voice filled with emotion as he spoke of Patrick and the dreams they had shared. Mr. Thompson listened intently, moved by Kwami's resilience and bravery. "I admire your spirit," Mr. Thompson said. "If you're willing, I can help you find better opportunities. You deserve a chance to succeed." With Mr. Thompson's guidance, Kwami found a job at a local engineering firm as an intern. The work was challenging, but he was eager to learn and grow. He attended night classes to further his education, balancing work and studies with unwavering determination. Slowly but surely, Kwami's efforts began to pay off. His supervisors noticed his dedication and potential, offering him a full-time position after his internship ended. With a stable income, Kwami was able to send more money home, easing his family's financial burdens. Back in Accra, the Mensah family rejoiced at the news. Papa Mensah and Mama Abina were proud of their son's achievements, and Linda's eyes sparkled with hope for the future. Though they missed Patrick dearly, they knew he would be proud of Kwami's accomplishments. Years passed, and Kwami's hard work continued to open doors for him. He was promoted to a managerial position at the engineering firm, leading a team of talented individuals. His reputation for integrity and perseverance earned him respect in the industry. Kwami never forgot his roots or the struggles he had faced. He began to mentor young immigrants, offering them the support and guidance he had received from Mr. Thompson. He established a scholarship fund in Patrick's name, providing financial assistance to students from underprivileged backgrounds. One evening, as Kwami sat in his office, he received a letter from Linda. She had been accepted into a prestigious university in Ghana, her dreams of becoming a doctor finally within reach. Kwami's heart swelled with pride and joy, knowing that his sacrifices had made a difference. Years later, Kwami returned to Accra for a visit. The neighborhood had changed, but the warmth and love of his family remained the same. Amma had graduated with honors and was now working at a local hospital, helping those in need. As the family gathered around the dinner table, Kwami looked at the faces of his loved ones, feeling a profound sense of fulfillment. He thought of Patrick, whose spirit and dreams had guided him through the darkest of times. "One day, we'll have a better life," Kwami said, echoing Patrick's words from years ago. "And we did it together." "Yes, we did," Linda replied, her eyes filled with gratitude and love. In the bustling streets of Accra, the Mensah family thrived, their dreams realized through the courage and determination of two brothers who had dared to reach for the stars. And as the sun set over the horizon, Kwami knew that Patrick's legacy would live on, inspiring generations to come.